Carnage Cravers, welcome back to Carnage Corner. This is our superhero show, Superhero Shakedown. So what we're going to be talking about on this show, I know it's new, we are going to be talking about upcoming superhero films and the news stories that come out surrounding them. Some of these things, we may have already heard about through, but they were only rumors at the time or whatnot. Sometimes we might talk about rumors. So we're just going to go through everything. We're talking Marvel, DC, Sony, Fox, all of it, absolutely all of it. So, all right, we're gonna kick things off right now. We're going to talk about Doctor Strange, because we are getting Doctor Strange before anything else. Getting Doctor Strange in November. The trailer for Doctor Strange. Can we just talk about the trailer for a second? The trailer looks freaking amazing. Okay, the trailer for Doctor Strange looks freaking awesome. If you get motion sickness, take a Dramamine before you go in to watch this movie, because it's freaking trippy as all hell. Okay, trailer is just freaking awesome. I think Benedict Cumberbatch looks like he walked off a comic book page. It's just nuts. And oh god, Tilda Swinton as the Ancient One. I thought it was an interesting casting when they first announced it. Turns out that it was absolutely perfect casting, because Tilda Swinton can just play anything. It's unreal. It's absolutely unreal. But we're gonna move on, because we do have quite a few things to cover. We're going to talk about Lego Batman. Yes. Lego Batman was, of course, one of the standouts of the Lego movie. And Will Arnett, who voices Lego Batman, will be getting his own film entitled Lego Batman. How many times can I say Lego Batman inside a minute? Yes. So anyways, we've seen trailers for Lego Batman. We've seen two of them up until this point, but now we have a new one, which actually lets us know a little bit more about what the story's going to be. And it turns out that the story is that Lego Batman has Lego Robin, and we're actually going to see some of Robin's training, which is it's going to be pretty funny. So I'm looking forward to that. They seem to be unwilling to give us Robin on the big screen. At least we can get him on the give us Robin live action. At least we can get him in the Lego universe. Moving on to our next topic, due to the success of Deadpool, there are rumors circulating that the third installment in the Wolverine franchise, which is highly rumored to follow the Old Man Logan storyline, it's also highly rumored that this film will be rated R. Now, how do we feel about an R-rated Wolverine? Myself personally, does Wolverine need to be rated R? No, he's proven that. He's proven he doesn't need to be rated R. He's proven he can survive in a PG-13 world. But then again, so could Deadpool. Deadpool could have survived in a PG-13 world. He could have done just fine. Okay. Why should Wolverine be rated R? Because Wolverine is one of the most brutal and vicious characters in all of comic books. And that's something that they have not showcased all that much. We saw a little bit of it in X2 when he was defending the X-Mansion. We even saw a little bit of it come out maybe during the bullet train, but even with the bullet train and the Wolverine, that was still majorly just like big action set pieces. But the actual berserker rage, that's X2 is really the closest we ever got to that, and even that didn't do Wolverine justice. Literally, this guy has unbreakable blades coming out of his hands that cut through anything. How does he fight anyone without making the walls look like a freaking abstract art with the other person's blood? Seriously, think about it. He should just be tearing through people. So I'd say that if this is rated R, it's going to be rated R for violence and gore. Like, I don't think you're going to see an overabundance of sex. And you probably won't even get an overabundance of language, although you might get a couple of F-bombs. Wolverine's been known to drop them. But it's the place that this movie would really, really make use of its R is in the gore. So, that being said, we're going to go ahead and move on here. The Power Rangers reboot comes out March 24th, 2017. Now, I can hear your cries, Power Rangers, you said this was superheroes, it kind of falls into the same vein, guys, if you really think about it. But the Power Rangers reboot, I, for one, I'm not excited for. Now, let me preface that by saying, I actually did grow up with Power Rangers. I was just the right age when it came out. And I liked it as a child. And, even looking back on it, I can appreciate it for what it was. But I'm not a fan of this reboot idea. Because what you do, especially, if you're trying to appeal to a whole new generation, well, then that's fine. Just put out a new Power Rangers. You don't need to, reboot the classic characters. Going into a reboot with the classic characters, these are characters that, people of my generation grew up with, and, if they're still fans, then odds are that they love these characters. And I don't see a point in going in and changing the actors and changing the story, and I just don't see the point. You don't need to reboot Power Rangers. Just do a new movie. So I'm not. We're gonna see how this goes. We've yet to get a trailer for this or anything of that nature. But I'm not excited for this. I'm just not excited for this. It's like there's no reason to be, if you're a fan of the Power Rangers, you have the Power Rangers. You don't need to go and they don't need to reboot this. This is kind of similar to the whole Ghostbusters thing. They should have just made a continuation of the Ghostbusters. You could have had all new Ghostbusters. Just do a continuation. You don't need to do a reboot. It's just a little ridiculous. Moving on, we're going to talk about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 comes out in May of 2017, May 5th to be exact. And Guardians of the Galaxy 2 has entered into post-production. So they have wrapped on filming, and James Gunn is probably sweating away in some editing room right now, quite possibly tearing his hair out, after trying to get a decent performance out of the likes of Dave Bautista and Vin Diesel. Good luck to you, James Gunn. I hope you do have fun in your editing room and are not bald the next time we see you. But that's really great. Looking forward to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I'm not sure what I make of these these reports that Kurt Russell is playing Igor. I believe it's Igor. I'm never quite sure how to pronounce it because you read it on the comic book page. But the Living Planet, who is supposedly Star-Lord's father. Now, I do not mean to be insensitive here, but apparently I got the impression from Guardians of the Galaxy 1 that Star-Lord's mother died from cancer, and quite possibly that cancer could have come from having sex with a planet. That is the most ridiculous shit I've ever heard. But that being said, I'm excited for the movie nonetheless. Moving on from there, the Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman's going to be our next outing from DC. The Wonder Woman trailer dropped at Comic-Con and then was later released to the rest of the world. Gal Gadot looks like she's improved greatly as an actress, even since Batman v Superman. It looks good. I'm impressed with the action sets that we did see. I'm very happy that they're setting it in World War One. Captain America: The First Avenger was one of my favorite Marvel films, and part of the reason I liked it was its World War II setting, and it's I guess we'll say realism. I'm not talking about the Tesseract when I say that, but like the idea of this person, the idea that this person with superhuman strength and speed and endurance and ability would actually battle in a war. So it's very interesting idea, very very good trailer, just the right amount of humor. I think Chris Pine's going to be very good for that, for the humor side of things. And not that everything needs to be funny, but I'll admit I'm a fan of dry wit myself. For instance, I thought Alfred was hysterical in Batman v Superman. He might have been the only funny thing about the film, but that's okay. It wasn't supposed to be funny. Moving on from there, as I said, Wonder Woman looks outstanding. Can't wait. I'm glad they're going with the. It seems like they're going with the demigod angle rather than the I was made from clay angle. But they could still be going with the I was made from clay angle. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, whichever way they do it, it still looks awesome. I just think it would be cooler if they go with the demigod angle. And, being as this revolves around World War I, I actually think there's a very good chance we see Ares in this film, being that it would be Ares who is fueling this fire in mankind to get them to destroy each other, because Ares feeds on conflict. So I think it's cool. We'll probably get to see Ares and Wonder Woman lock it up for the big finale in Wonder Woman, which I think will look outstanding. Moving on from there, we're going to talk a little bit about SpiderMan Homecoming. SpiderMan Homecoming, reports say that it's going to take place in high school. That's not a big surprise, seeing as how Peter Parker was in high school when Tony Stark grabbed him in Captain America Civil War. But what's more interesting is the idea that they've talked about possibly the Spider-Man films following the Harry Potter angle, if you will. Meaning, this movie's sophomore year, and this movie's junior year, and this movie's senior year, and hell, you hired an actor who's knee-high to a grasshopper, looks like a baby, and not that he didn't do a good job, because he did, but he looks young, because he is young. So, yeah, monopolize on that. Keep the kid in high school as long as you can. I mean, Spider-Man's in high school. Almost every incarnation of, Spider-Man was in high school forever. You think Spider-Man, you think high school. So, it makes sense to me. I'm excited for Homecoming. I want to see if we can get a decent Spider-Man movie now that Marvel is involved. Because Lord knows we didn't get any when Marvel wasn't involved. That being said, let me retract that statement. Spider-Man 2 was good, and the Amazing Spider-Man, the first one, wasn't bad. But I think with Marvel's involvement, we could get something better this time around. So moving on from there, set photos from Thor Ragnarok show that Chris Hemsworth has a buzz cut hairdo. Now combine that knowledge with the knowledge that we know the Hulk is in the film, and that Jeff Goldblum will be playing the name of that damn character, the master of the game master, yes. So I'm expecting couple that with the idea that they did show off Hulk Gladiator armor at Comic-Con, and I am thinking that somehow or another Thor loses Mjolnir and has to go to this planet and fight in gladiator combat, and that him cutting his hair is going to be a part of that. That's, once he loses Mjolnir and he doesn't have that power anymore, and he's got to fight without the power of thunder and lightning and whatnot, yada yada yada. I think that maybe the haircut is going to be symbolic of a change within Thor, and so I'm cool with it. I think it's a cool idea. I'm interested to see if we're going to get a look at Beta Ray Bill, because of course Beta Ray Bill being part of that storyline in the comics. I mean, it's possible. Not holding my breath, definitely not holding my breath, but hey, anything is possible. another thing is one possible cast list for Avengers Infinity War was released. The cast list shows Chris Pratt playing Star-Lord. So the idea that Chris Pratt could be playing Star-Lord in Avengers Infinity War was an intriguing idea. Then, of course, Vin Diesel came out on his Facebook because, Lord, I don't know if studios are actually giving Vin Diesel permission to post this stuff on his Facebook, or if they're just going, oh shit, he did it again. All right, release the news. He did it again. We need a muzzle for this guy. Take away his phone, take away his computer, keep him away from social media because the man cannot keep a secret. But Vin Diesel has apparently confirmed that the Guardians of the Galaxy will appear in Avengers Infinity War. So excited for that. Looking forward to that. It's absolutely awesome. Moving on from there, Andy Serkis is going to be playing Ulysses Klaue in Black Panther. This really isn't a surprise to us, seeing as how they already set him up playing Ulysses Klaue in Avengers Age of Ultron. So I'm really not surprised by this, and I'm not going to waste a lot of time talking about it. Moving on, Peyton Reed currently developing Ant-Man and the Wasp. This is a sequel to Ant-Man. Ant-Man and the Wasp is going to develop Hope Van Dyne's Wasp character. Now, the only concern I have with this is, Peyton Reed, he was the director of Ant-Man, but he came in after the departure of Edgar Wright, and a lot of the script still had a lot of Edgar Wright in it, and I hope that Ant-Man and the Wasp can be just as good, if not better, than Ant-Man, because I truly enjoyed Ant-Man. The question is how different will it be without Edgar Wright's hand in it? So we're gonna have to wait for the movie in order to know that. But moving on from there, Stephen McFeely and Christopher Marcus are currently writing Avengers 4. Hard to have an opinion on this until we see Avengers 3. These are the same guys who wrote Avengers Infinity War, so we're gonna have to just wait and see. Hopefully they did a good job on Avengers 3, so therefore they'll do a good job on Avengers 4. Moving on from there, at Comic-Con, Brie Larson was officially cast as Captain Marvel. We kind of knew that for a while already, but it's good to get the official word. Brie Larson, of course, Academy Award-winning actress. She's great in everything she does, so she's going to kill it as Carol Danvers. Now let's go into the Justice League news. All sources seem to point towards Justice League being a little lighter than the other films we've gotten so far, and most certainly definitely going to be PG-13, which there's absolutely no issue with that. Anybody who has an issue with Justice League being PG-13, they need to see a shrink. They need a Rorschach test, lobotomy, brain transplant, something, because there's no reason ever, if the idea of a R-rated Justice League excites you, there's something wrong with you. No reason at all for Justice League to ever be rated R. So PG-13, there we go. And another question is, Justice League 2, will Justice League Part 2 have Darkseid? We know that we're getting Steppenwolf in Part 1, but will Justice League Part 2 have Darkseid? And I think it will. I mean, obviously we can't know. We have no way to know until we see what they do in Justice League Part 1. But I think there's a very, very, very strong chance that we see Darkseid in Justice League Part 2. Man of Steel 2, production was announced on Man of Steel 2, which is about time. I know it's hard now that they're doing the whole extended universe thing, but I really hope that Man of Steel 2 focuses majorly on Superman, because Superman definitely needs a little bit more development time for him to turn into the Superman that we know from the comics. One of the major complaints from Superman purists has been that what we're getting in the movies is not really what they see in the comics. Superman's not that Boy Scout. Personally, I happen to like that because the Boy Scout drives me nuts. He's a little bitch. No, but hey, listen, purists want what they want, but I think it's interesting if in Man of Steel 2 we actually see more of that Boy Scout. We see, and then it'll, over the course of Man of Steel into Batman v Superman, into the Justice League films, and then finally into Man of Steel 2, or whatever they end up calling it, the idea that he has this character arc to become the hero that we know. It's a great idea. I hope it's what they do. I think it'll be awesome. Couple more things here. The Flash, or we've seen set photos of the cinematic Flash's costume. I was actually very interested to see that the Flash, he's not wearing all red like a lot of people are used to. It's not all red. There's actually a fair amount of black in there on the sides of the costume and in between the red plates and whatnot. And it was a pretty slick look. It doesn't bother me any. It might bother some people, but not for nothing. If they're gonna, I feel like they're gonna try and through science explain the Flash's suit, because he's definitely going to, if you run faster than light, it makes sense that you're going to heat up, and normal clothes would burn away. So unless we want the Flash to be named the Flash for an entirely different reason, it makes sense that his suit would need to explain why it doesn't dissolve as he breaks a sound barrier. And the last point I'm going to bring up is set photos released, getting our first really good look at Jason Momoa as Aquaman. And oh my God, did they make the right choice casting Jason Momoa as Aquaman. Get rid of the blonde high top. Get rid of the silly, scaly orange and green. No. Make this guy look like a warrior king and make him look like a badass. Because it's what Aquaman is supposed to be. He hasn't been that, hi guys, from Super Friends in a long ass time. Pick up a comic book. Like, the dude's a badass. And I personally am very fond of the change in his look. Jason Momoa is going to freaking kill this. And I swear to you, after Justice League, after Jason Momoa's first performance as Aquaman, nobody is going to be making any Aquaman jokes anymore. So, that being said, guys, that has been the Superhero Shakedown. Be sure to join me next time for my Imperial Report. That is our Star Wars show. Gonna cover all things Star Wars. Looking forward to that. But this has been Superhero Shakedown. Remember, like, subscribe. Make sure that if you want to, you want to comment. I'm going to be doing a mailbag-esque kind of show sometime in the future once I can build up enough questions. So if you've got questions, if you've got topics you want to talk about or whatnot, you can email those into me. It's carnagecorner@gmail.com. Carnage with a K, corner with a K. It'll be on the screen in a few seconds once I'm done talking, along with the Twitter handle, which is Carnage Corner. Which is @CarnageCorner on Twitter. Every now and again, I will be posting the links to videos on there. But if you subscribe, you don't even need to worry about that because it's going to pop up right in your email. So, that being said, that has been our show. Another thing that we have coming up in the very near future that you can weigh in on in the comment section below, or in the email, or on the Twitter, whatever you want to do. But after the Imperial Report, the next show I plan on doing will be called Warzone, and I will take two characters that are very unlikely to ever meet each other, and I will have them battle. My first matchup will be the Battle of the Billionaires. It will be Batman versus Iron Man. So feel free to weigh in on who you think is going to win that one, and don't forget to watch it to come to the. Don't forget to watch it and for the conclusion of exactly who is going to win that one. This has been the very first episode of Superhero Shakedown, and hopefully it will not be the last. Leave a like, subscribe, and remember, always remember, until next time, Carnage.